Hello. I'm so glad to come here and find you all. Do you know that Sunday is my favorite day? I mean, they're all wonderful, but Sunday, I get to be with my family, my beautiful family of friends I've met and friends I have yet to meet. And so I can stretch out my arms and say, welcome. Welcome to the Advancement Center, and welcome to the world of magic and miracles. That's not a fairy tale. That's truth. Because when you stop and realize what is happening way beyond our control and our directives, like how about the magic and the miracle of a new little girl who just arrived maybe 2 days ago, and that Kathleen and Adrian welcome a new grandchild? That's a miracle. We have miracles all around us. Yeah. And I think it's a wonderful habit to share the miracle, celebrate miracles, and watch them multiply. So welcome to the Advancement Center, and welcome to your world of magic and miracles. Now, depending upon your address on this planet, an hour was stolen away from us and called daylight savings time. And just last night, they decided to return it, and that hour was restored. So you know what that means. If you have a cell phone, you're fine because it tells you what's the real time. No more daylight saving time. But if you don't have a cell phone, you have to run around to every clock in your house and wind it back. So enjoy the gift of an hour that you didn't have yesterday. Of course, if you're listening to this in the future, it doesn't make any sense, but it's what's happening right now. Yeah, Sundays are precious to me because I am in touch with all of you, and I can share my deep friendship with Simeon. I write to him very often, and he never, ever forgets to answer. So here's my exchange with Simeon just this morning. I wrote, Dear Simeon, I just regained an hour and it is my broadcast day. Many memories, thoughts, and awarenesses are coming into focus, and to share them all is my desire. Please help me, dear Simeon. I love you dearly, Barbara. And he immediately answers and wrote, I hear you and feel your fervent heart. You bring endless love in packets of story and quotes, all adding up to a beautiful life that you share always. We love you. What could be better? I have a dear friend in another realm watching out for all of us. Now, sun is shining, the shadows are sharp, and not a leaf is moving. It's like holding its breath. Ah, it makes me know for sure that the Advancement Center is a center with unlimited outstretched arms to embrace all of humanity everywhere. A familiar feeling arrived when I came across these words by a man I've yet to meet. His name is David Brand. And I felt that I would share his words that I agree with you now. And this is what David wrote. The story of humanity is us. The story of humanity, our story, is still forming. No page already written, no script we are bound to follow. We are not only witnesses to history, we are its authors, shaping the sentences with each act of kindness, each decision to extend compassion, each act of love, each refusal to let fear be the final word. Peace does not arrive as a set narrative from the beyond. Peace emerges when we choose to pause, to listen, to meet ourselves and every person with dignity and love. Love does not wait at the end of the story, but in every chapter we choose to write now with clear intention as the ink and steady focus as the pen. If enough of us commit to peace and love, we will bend the arc of our shared narrative towards healing, towards unity, towards the simple truth that we bring and belong to one another. Then the story of humanity will not be one of fracture, loss, and separation, but of awakening and reconnection. The power to birth a new story has always been right here, right now, in the intentions that I, you, we dare to hold, in the choices that I, you, we passionately make, in the courage to live into being a breathtaking, inspiring story that is worthy of what we are truly, or of who we truly are. And those words were penned by David Brand. And if he's just happens to be tuning in, it'll be a surprise. And I think I'm losing this. Yeah. Thanks. So I say thank you, David. Hope you are listening, because our team of 4 broadcast 5 times a week and carry an overall message of who and what we really are and where we truly come from. Yes, we all share an origin located at the right hand of our Creator and arrive, quote, trailing clouds of glory do we come from God, who is our home. Ah, no wonder I have loved that poem by Wordsworth my entire life. I recall memorizing it while sitting with my mom on her big bed with the velvet comforter and the puffy squares that I will refer to at a later date. Yesterday, as always, I was considering the broadcast and scanning the many broadcasts of the past when we were joined by Robert, my husband, and Simeon, his brother in another realm, as mentioned before. And I came up with one statement. I love my life. That happened to me as I watched an entire, I don't know what it was, I guess YouTube from Open Secret in California. And it's a wonderful story. We were invited by a couple living in California while we were still in Australia. And they invited us to come and visit America. And we did that in 2011. And we stayed at their house and we toured the entire length of California. We didn't get as far as San Francisco, but we went all the way down to San Diego, addressing everybody. And Robert is amazing. He sits in front of a group of people we've never met before, and he uplifts every heart listening. It was thrilling. So my life was a charm. We traveled, we met people, we met all kinds of situations, and they all turned out to be rather magical and a miracle. So that was the beginning. And then what happened? We came in 2011 and had that amazing time. Robert gave several talks, and people just wanted more and more and more. And Open Secret was fabulous. Now, San Rafael, I think that's where it was, a bookstore And we walked in there, and Rob, the owner, the place was amazing. As I think of it, he had relics from all over the planet. He had statuary. He had lectures being offered every evening, I guess. And he invited Robert to meet with a group. And people just flooded into the Open Secret to hear Robert, because they would come in, be so uplifted, and leave and come right back the next time Robert spoke. That was magic. And we lived in different people's homes, and we traveled and had all kinds of experiences. I don't know where I'm going with this, but it all added up to a fascinating life with Robert. My life took on a whole new character. As a matter of fact, I watched, and it's available on YouTube, Robert addressing about 100 people one evening at the Open Secret. And he spoke like he was sitting across the dining room table from you. It was intimate. It was friendly. It was very knowing, uplifting, and with so many gifts that you could take away with you and refer to it. And the best part of it is that it's on YouTube, so you can revisit it. And as a matter of fact, I was sitting on the other side of a beautiful bouquet and we were both on stage. And I watched people wake up in the audience. I watched them listen, lean forward, sit taller, and fall in love with life. Robert made it all happen. So, is it any wonder that in 2012, I remember being on a walk by the river, and I said, people in Australia don't realize who they have here. We've been to America where people are just traipsing after him and wanting to hear every word. And that's not happening here in Australia. I think we have to move. I think it's time to go to America. So in 2012, I returned home and Robert emigrated. What else do I have here? Oh, yeah. I was just having a good time remembering and being in love with life and Robert and everything about our existence. And then I started to think back. In 1986, Robert arrived on this earth. Now, that's a whole broadcast in and of itself. And if you don't know that story, look for Alan Steinfeld's interview of Robert back in, I guess, 86. So he arrived, I'm not sure what month, but he arrived. Not the way you and I came, but he arrived. And at the same moment, thousands of miles away in I guess Roslyn, New York, I felt it. I felt the earth move under my feet. Could have been my theme song. And I actually moved to the next state. And I have here in parenthesis, that was God's plan happening in my life. And now it is 2025. The house in Connecticut, where I had moved to take care of an elderly uncle, has my name on the title. It is rented to a woman I've never met. And each month, the rent she's paying goes directly to paying a portion of our rent here in Santa Barbara. Now, if that's not a God plan, I don't know what is. But it's working. In fact, God's plan is always perfection. Up to the moment I met Robert, my life was filled with someday I will to be filled in. Since that day, my life has been filled with newness, awakening delights, and feelings of fulfillment and joy. Yes, my dear ones are all important parts of our one big, beautiful family. That's you. We gather together to hear the happiness, the joy, and the truth of being here. And one of those happinesses that came up was my discovery of art. But this was a different week of art because I showed up for class. Mandar had all his paints ready, and no one else showed up. So rather than have him take a whole evening away from his family to instruct me, I suggested that he take the night off and I'll go it alone. So the very next day, I set myself up, put all my pastels out, got my paper ready, and this is what came out, minus Mandar. It was fun. So maybe I can launch myself out and invite you to try it yourself. Pastels are very forgiving. They blend, they become beautiful, and it's fun. This is fun. Being with you is fun. Make every moment count. And with that, I wish you a perfect life with perfect health and a beautiful bright, shiny, glistening life. And a wonderful future just for you. See you next time. Love, Barbara.